I'm down 4 pounds this week. Starting to shape up a little bit in some key areas, and it's starting to look good for me. So with Shelby, I already followed up with him. He says add one more high intensity interval training for 30 minutes and preferably do it on my arm day. And that's it. I mentioned in my very first video that we'll need to make incremental changes, because if we did the same thing this week as last week, it might be a little bit slower. So might as well start making just a little bit of changes here and there, and we'll see how I adjust to it. A common question I get is, how do I have meals on a diet? Now, in my previous week's video, I told you that I will be having 6 meals a day, and they will all be the same. 50 grams protein, 30 grams carbohydrates, and 15 grams fat, except for the very last meal where there is no carbohydrates. Every day is the same for the entire week. And in that video, I showed you all the different foods that I had, ranging from Ezekiel bread to fruits, to chicken, to turkey, eggs, oatmeal, protein powder, peanut butter, olive oil, macadamia nut oil. So today I will show you an entire day's worth of food and an example. In order to hit all of the macronutrient requirements for, let's say, 50 grams of protein, we will need to calculate some things. So all you need to do is look at the nutrition facts and see what it specifies, see what the serving size is, and for every serving size, how much of that particular macronutrient you get. Now, as I said in last week's video, if it's chicken, we only count the protein. If it's oatmeal, we only count the carbohydrates. If it's peanut butter, we only count the fats. We only count the target macronutrient in every food. Because if you had to count everything, it would be too much. It'd be too much to micromanage. This is even easier than counting calories, because we're literally just counting the macronutrient. So to calculate some of these things, you need to set up something called a proportion. So given one serving of this chicken, we have this many grams in a serving size, and we have this many grams of protein in that serving size. So in order to satisfy our 50 grams protein requirements, this is how many grams of chicken that we need. It turned out to be 200 grams of chicken. I also make sure that I use this food scale in order to weigh the food, just so that I get a general idea. Now, if you overshoot the food by like 10 grams, it's not a big deal. As long as you're not overshooting it by, 100 grams or something, it's okay. If you're fluctuating a little bit from day to day, it's not a huge deal. I don't know if you can see that, but right now is 12:12 in the morning, Thursday, January 19th. What I'm gonna do right now, I've already showered, I've already had my last meal. I'm gonna prepare my breakfast, which will be a shake of oatmeal, protein, and peanut butter. On Thursday, I don't have weight training, but I have cardio in high intensity intervals. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do that after my first meal. So my lunch break at work is going to be doing these cardio intervals. Now here's how I'm going to plan it. As I'm driving to work tomorrow morning, I'm going to have that shake. I'm out of oatmeal. I buy a canister of oats, and then I end up going to Costco or Sam's Club to buy boxes full of oatmeal that come in these bags. These bags are very flimsy, so it's easier to just put it in a bigger container like this without having to buy a plastic one. I can reuse this. I think this has been the same one that I've had since like 2012. Alright, so we calculated it. We want 44 grams of oatmeal to hit our 30 grams of carbohydrates. I have my favorite, the casein protein. This is chocolate peanut butter. It's whatever was cheapest on Amazon. This one we want 35 grams of protein. I have some other way that might be a little bit better. I'm going to introduce that a little later into the diet, so you're going to see that in the upcoming weeks. This one we're going to put about another 35 grams. Now finally, our natural peanut butter, we're going to need 30 grams of this to hit our 15 grams of fat. So this is going to be 30 grams carbohydrates, 50 grams protein, 15 grams of fat. All right, look, if we get to 29, not 30, it's not a big fucking deal, okay? Okay, so here's our shake. We have our oatmeal, our peanut butter, and we're gonna blend this. Oh, that looks good. That looks so delicious. We have our blessing. Okay. Remember what I said about overshooting the protein in the oatmeal and the peanut butter by just a little bit? There's always going to be residuals that stick to the blender. It's not a huge deal. I used to think that you needed to have exactly that particular number. If you're off by like 2 or 3 grams, it's really not a big deal. Don't worry about it. You're gonna spend so much time trying to get the little itty bitty pieces, and you're gonna find out that in the long run, it actually really doesn't matter. So save yourself some time. Save yourself some hassle. Now don't overshoot it by like 30 or 40, or like load up the peanut butter by like an extra spoon thinking that, ooh, I'm so clever. Bernard said that I could load it up just a little bit more. No, it doesn't work that way. If it's like a gram or two, look, even the scale is gonna be wrong by like a gram or two. This is not for trade. This is not for commercial use. This is just kind of a way to make sure that you're eating the same amount every day. And it doesn't need to be the same amount per gram. You don't need to go micromanage that low. Ah, yeah. So delicious. I'm not even kidding, it's actually really good. And we're gonna wash it out. There you go. There's always gonna be some left over. We can try to get a little bit more out. It's not a huge deal. Oh, that looks so good, doesn't it? Aren't you jealous of my breakfast? So this is our breakfast for the morning. This makes it so that I can get up, wash my hair, brush my teeth, wash my face, and I put this in my bag for work, get into my car, start driving, and I drink this. So I will see you in the morning. This is going to save us about 20 minutes worth of time. See ya. We're going to have some Ezekiel bread, and we know that 1 slice is 15 grams of carbohydrates. We're also going to have some red grapes, so we're going to say about 80 grams is going to be 15 grams carbohydrates. It's going to fit our macro count for 30 grams of carbohydrates. On the bread, I'm going to put 30 grams of peanut butter. It's going to be a huge, huge piece. And we're going to have chicken. Close enough. This is really not a lot of grapes, is it? Bread and grapes, fats with the peanut butter, 15 grams of fats, and then we have our chicken, 50 grams protein. Enjoy. The reason I have red grapes and not green is because these were cheaper. They were like $3 a pound, and the green grapes were like $4 a pound. You can use any kind of fruit though, so I just happen to buy this for now. If I do this video again in like 2 weeks, it'll be a different fruit again. I really don't think it matters. Alright, now that we finished our second meal, our lunch, I'm gonna go and make my mid-afternoon shake. I'm not driving. I'm going to drink my shake in the car, though. I am still at work, but I left it in here. I had to run for a meeting at 1 o'clock. Meal number 3. Right now is about 3 o'clock. So that was about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after my lunch. dinner time. Right now is 7:40 p.m. So I haven't eaten this since I've been a kid, but we have Granny Smith apples, and we're going to dip them in peanut butter, and then we're gonna have chicken for our protein. So this is gonna be our carbohydrates, peanut butter is gonna be our fats, chicken's gonna be our protein. So I looked it up online. We're gonna need 200 grams of apple in order to satisfy the 30 grams of carbohydrates. So we know the apple is a little bit heavier than 200 grams, so we're gonna have to cut it. We have this extra slice of apple. We're just gonna save this for the next meal. It's not a big deal. There we go. Perfect on 30. Apples and peanut butter, 30 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fat, chicken, 50 grams protein. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had this for 25 years. Oh God, apples and peanut butter. Can't imagine I'd be doing this today. Just like how I remembered it. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a very long time since I've had apples. I also forgot these Granny Smith apples are a little bit more sour than what I remember. So the reason it's 200 grams to get 30 grams of carbohydrates is because there's a lot of water. I'm really only concerned with the carbohydrate content. So it looks like the ratio is kind of low, about 15 grams of carbs per 100 grams of apple, but it's okay. It just means more food that I can eat. Enjoy. Fucking peanut butter on the side of my mouth. Perfect. That was meal number 4. I consider that my dinner. It took me about 15 minutes to eat. It covered everything. It covered the fats, the proteins, and the carbs. In about an hour, I'm gonna have one more meal, and then after that, I'm gonna have my very last meal. So we got 2 more left. It's 9:37 p.m. One thing I realized, most of the protein here is either gonna be chicken or protein powder. I realized I'm not prepared and I should have cooked this for the video. So this is ground turkey. If you look here, it's 93.7, so 7% fat and 93% lean. I'll have this in another video and I'm gonna show you how I prepare it. We have the remainder of our apples, so I'm just going to put it on the scale. And because I don't know how much this weighs, we'll just take it off, and then the negative is going to show us how much that this apple actually weighed. Alright, so it weighed exactly 100 grams. So this is 15 grams of carbs. We also know that one slice of Ezekiel bread is going to be 15 grams of carbs. It says right here, one slice, 15 grams of carbohydrates. So we'll have one slice of this bread, we'll have the apples, and then we'll have some chicken. I like to add vegetables at night, so meal 5 and 6 are going to have vegetables. This is broccoli. Now, we don't count any of the nutrition facts here. So we're overshooting the chicken just a little bit. It should be 200, but it's 214. Not a big deal. Oh. One thing I like to put on my toast is this butter spray. There's no calories when it comes to this. It tastes like butter, it's not actually butter, and I put it on toast. We have our toast, 15 grams protein, apples, which is our other 15 grams of protein, and then we're gonna have the 30 grams of peanut butter again for 15 grams of fat. Now, okay, I don't like using peanut butter this much in a diet, but with the whole apples thing and to kind of give you a better idea, I'd do that today. I can use almonds, I can use almond butter, I can use walnuts, mixed nuts, it doesn't matter. Just for this particular meal, to hit the 15 grams of fat, I used the peanut butter. I could use oils. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really hate mouth sounds when I'm eating. Like when people smack their lips when they eat. Shut up! Oh my god. I can't even listen to myself do it. That's why whenever I go out to eat with somebody, like, I hardly eat anything. Because it's like, if I'm gonna talk, I don't wanna eat, and if I'm gonna eat, I don't wanna talk. Unlike what I'm doing right now. And now the second part of the meal is 50 grams of protein in chicken breast. And we have additional broccoli, which we don't count for anything. If you read on the label for broccoli, it's gonna show that it's carbohydrates, that it's gonna be insoluble fiber. Don't even worry about that, it's not a big deal. I'm not even gonna count it as carbs because your body does not digest that fiber in the way that it would digest the sugars in an apple. So, all right, that was meal number 5, my dinner. Took me a little bit longer to eat than meal number 4, but that's not a big deal. I'll see you next for the final meal, where I will cook something new. Almost midnight, and I will be doing my last meal, but I need to cook it. It also doesn't help that this can of egg whites is expired now. For 46 grams of egg whites, it's going to be 5 grams of protein. But I'm gonna sprinkle this macadamia nut oil on top of the eggs so that I can put some salt on them. Final meal. This is our dinner. It's beautiful. That final meal had no carbs. We don't count the carbs in broccoli. That concludes it. 6 meals, all the same. 50 grams protein, 30 grams carbs, 15 grams fats, except for the last meal, which has no carbs at all. Overall, I probably spent about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes total eating today, which isn't too bad if you think about it. If you go out to a restaurant to eat with a friend, you're probably gonna spend about an hour there just for one meal. So it was 2 shakes, 4 solid food meals. Ideally for me, it'd be 3 shakes, 3 solid food meals. The shakes are a lot faster, they're easier to prepare. I will have a video about how to prepare food. We'll go shopping together, and it might even be as early as next week. So tired. I'm going to bed. Thank you so much for joining me for an entire day's worth of meals. Anyways, I'm very happy with my progress so far in the weight loss series. It's only been a week, and I know the first maybe 4 weeks is where I'm gonna get the most progress. But check out the video over here for the very first episode, and then down here for the next episode when it's out. But thank you so much for sticking with me through this journey. I'll see you in the next one. Adios, amigos.